Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Dazzling you there with the sun, aren't I? I bumped into Mike, Wellington Mike, in the Aldi. Went in for me dinner. I was buying a garlic sausage for me dinner. I've got a nerd on my face somewhere there. It's doing me head in. And it was a pleasure to meet you. Meet you and your good lady. Let me just sort this out. Let's get in. Camera works excellent as ever, isn't it? Yeah, it's always good to meet up with you folk out there in YouTube land. He's an allotment here himself, is Mike. Oh, way up, sorry pal. Yeah, I'll lock you out. Have you done now, yeah?
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. See you after. So yeah, it was good. It was excellent. Like I say, make yourself stand up and be recognised, Mike, in the comments below, and we'll sort something out. Come and see your plot. Rightio. I'm back on my plots in Eden now. Let's get some tomato plants in. Okay, so I've got a couple of sun golds there. I'm going to be pinching the suckers out on these. I'll show you that in a second. But they're going to be going in first into the little bed we've got in the twin wall polycarbonate greenhouse up at the top, the timber framed one, the first one that I built. As you can see, it's quite warm in here. Yeah, at the moment it's 26 degrees Celsius, which is around about, what would that be in American money? About 78. About 78. So they're going to go in there. I'm just going to prepare that bed by getting some bloodfish and bone into the mix and a little bit of that sulphate of potash, that, which is good for fruiting plants such as these. But yeah, there's calcium in that bloodfish and bone meal as well, which will assist, obviously, help to establish the fruits and get them set properly. So yeah, we're going to be banging that in. I'm going to be putting about a scoop and a half's worth, or a hand and a half's worth, into each of the areas where I'm going to be planting up those sun gold and the other tomato plants we're putting in. I'm going to be getting 5 into here. So I've got 5 strings. These are going to be the climbing strings that we're going to twine around our tomato plants as they grow up. They're going to be able to be clipped onto this or twine around this, and they'll follow the strings up. They're going to be going into the ground. I will not show you. I'll just show you. Okay. Bit of a sprinkled pinch of the sulphate of potassium. Sulphate of potash, I'm sorry. And round about a shallow handful, really, a scoop of the bloodfish and bone, and we're going to mix it all and integrate it in together around our planting station where we're going to be putting our plant in. Alright, so that's going to have a bit of a mix in like that. Any bindweed or horse's tail that you come across, you pull out as you're excavating your little holes. Well, we do anyway, otherwise we'll be overrun with it. We'll be overrun with it anyway, but at least I'm giving a nod to sort of doing something about it. Well, that's going to be a deepish hole, deep enough hole. We want to go deeper than the pot's, a couple of inches deeper than the actual pot, the pot itself. So let me get a pot. Here we go, that's the depth of the pot. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper than that, and I'll show you for why in a second or two. Alright guys, I'm going to go a little bit deeper than the depth of the pot. Bet you can't even see what I'm doing here, can you? Not watching what I'm doing. There's the pot in there, and that's about 2 or 3 inches below the top of the pot. Yeah, so when the plant goes in, there'll be that much stem sticking up. Extra stem sticking up. Alright, but we made a little depression there. Now, these are the side shoots or suckers that are going to potentially become another plant. But what we're going to do is I'm going to pinch these out. I should get my Stanley knife for this really, but never mind. I'm pinching these out, see, and I might potentially pop them on to become further plants, but I need to get rid of them because I'm what we call single stemming these. So they're going to have a single stem, that main stem, going all the way up, and then the fruits will come from the main stem and keep them more compact and controllable. But I've done it with this one. I've took them all off from this one. You can see the root mass there, quite root bound. So what I will do is I'll tease these out slightly before we plant them in. But as well, before we plant them in, as I say, I've integrated the feed into the soil around the area that we're going to be planting in. We put that down lower than needs be. So what will happen is I might have to take that one out actually. In fact, I will. I'll take that one out. Yeah, nip that branch off, that leaf branch off, and then we can bury it deeper. And the hairs, the fine hairs that are all the way up to the tomato, they'll send out further roots, and that's what we want. We want a nice root ball underneath there. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's the next step actually. I'm going to be pulling that in, but first of all, sorry about the camera work again, I'm rubbish, aren't I? The excess string that we've tied off at the top there, that excess string goes in the hole, and we're going to put it sort of towards the back of the hole there. Now I'm going to be needing 2 hands for this, because I want to first of all firm that string in a little bit so I get a bit of tension on my string going up, and then that will be planted on top of that string with the string at the back, and we're going to attach the plant itself to the string as it grows up, and that's the trainer for it. It'll train the single stem then hopefully up there to the top and beyond. But yeah, this will give them a set off. We've run out of canes, you see, so I'm using this method. We have used it before, I think it was last year, and it does work to a certain degree, but I've found that if you don't anchor it properly under the ground, the strings do tend to get a little bit baggy as time progresses. So you've got to get that tautness and tightness. So leave me with that, I'll get that sorted now. Okay. And that's tending to vine around that string, and as it continues up, we're hopefully going to be able to carry that on. Or you can put like little links on it, you know, like little clasps, so that it sticks to the string, and it just like a cane, it would just follow it up then. And eventually, when we don't want it to climb any higher, we can pinch out the fruiting tip, or the growing tip. We can pinch it out and let the plant bush out a little bit more, then let it feed the fruits as the fruits set. These won't be setting for a good long time, but that's the stem that we want to continue on up there. We don't want those suckers, so they'll grow in the elbows where the branches come out. That'll become another one, even though I've took the foliage off. You watch. But that's then now bedded down a couple of inches below the level of where the soil in the pot was, and the hairs will come out, and you'll set further roots underneath. So that's one in. We're going to continue on. I'm going to be able to get 5 tomato plants in there, but next door to its neighbour, the sun gold, we're going to put another sun gold in here, and then there's a beefsteak going. There's a bigger gap there, see, and the beefsteak's going to go there, and then I think we've got, well, I'll show you in a minute. We've got 2 other types of tomato plant that we're going to be sending up. But yeah, let's get them in. Let's integrate that feed into the soil and get them potted in. So the string is tied at the top around my little screw that we've got there. That then comes down, goes into the earth, and is firmed in. So we're firming that in, giving it a better anchorage hopefully. And then this plant goes in like that. The plant goes in These are pretty dry, so they're going to get a thoroughly good watering. Really good. You be careful with them petals. We don't want that to be disturbed, do we? The petals. Oh, I tell you what, it's hard this when you're putting it in and you're trying to do your filming to keep things in focus. But that's in. Yeah, on top of the soil and the string. We're going to then fill around, or backfill around. And we're going to put halos around these as well, but that's my last step. We've got to be careful with them halos. Just gently firm them in around there. And you've got your taut string going up. Right, you get the idea now, boys and girls, don't you? So, leave me with it now. Look at that. Horse's tail popping its head up. I'm going to be constantly pulling these. It's a tough one. Okay, so let me continue with that, guys, and we'll get them all filled in, and then we'll get the in-ground watering system sorted out. But first we'll get the halos on them, the feeding halos. Feeding halos are going to go on there, which I'll have to find. I think they're out. On the plot where the buckets are, but I'll show you in a second. Now I got about halfway through doing that, and you never stopped me, did you? Before I realised that you need to get the halos in first before you get set the string, because otherwise, yeah, how do I get the halos on? You've not even seen the halos, so you don't even know what I'm talking about, do you? But let's have a look and I'll show you what I'm on about. You get it warts and all on this channel, boys and girls, but we get there in the end. It looks the part in the end. Let me just go down there. I'm sure I saw them over where the buckets are down there, to be honest. The halos. But these make a big difference. The feeding halos. Where have I seen them? Bear with us a sec. That is a feeding root halo. And all it is a cut flower bucket that we get from Asda, chopped in half. Now before I put the string in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that into the ground. They're dead easy to install. You just, better with two hands, you just sort of twist them into the ground. I wish I had my tripod with me. I've not got my tripod with me. I'm a silly sausage today, I tell you. Will this do it? Probably not, but we'll have a go. Yeah, no, rubbish. Anyway, that gets twisted into the ground like that. Okay, please bear with us. You shouldn't mock the afflicted. Yeah. Frankie Howard used to say that. Don't mock the afflicted. Right, so there's the hole that's made. I know the angle's a bit crap, guys and gals, but get the string in. Put that string in like that. And seat it in. And then when we get the plant on it, it'll be properly seated. We'll get the plant on it, firm up around it. It'll be properly seated. But that is for the feed. Is for the feeding roots. That. Sorry about this, boys and girls. I'm absolutely crap today. It's red hot in here though. Right, that's my excuse. So that's in there, yeah, like this. So that's gone in there like that. So it's got that that root training feed halo. I'm gonna call it. It's probably a better name for it. But that goes in there, half a bucket into the ground. The string's running up. It's underneath the plant. That's the idea. All right, we're not finished yet though, guys. Still more faffing about to do. Okay. Now those plastic pop bottles have got holes in, and this is the in-ground watering system. So you dig the holes about 8 inches down, so it's above where the last of the holes is going to be. Insert your plastic bottle into the soil so that all the watering holes are below ground level, and then earth up around it. When you fill that up with the water, then the water then escapes through the side holes and thus saturates, seeps in all around. And you want them, so these have got holes in the bottom as well, you want the water to get below ground level and create a sort of semi-aquifer underneath the water. These roots that are in here, we don't water inside the halo. These roots that are already on the existing plant, they'll have to seek out that moisture. So that means they'll expand themselves, they'll seek out the moisture and go looking for it. Because you don't want too much water at this stage. And you certainly don't need any more feed in there because it's in the ground. You want the roots to seek out that nutrition and work its way through the growing medium, looking for that nutrition, looking for that moisture, seeking out what it needs. And therefore you'll get the good, strong root growth underneath ground level, because it's seeking the moisture. They are bottomless pots, but they're about 6 or 7 inches deep. So yeah, the bottom roots need to search out the water, so they'll go deep down and they'll come underneath, hopefully. Go down and come underneath looking for the water. Every 10 days or so we'll feed from the top, so that it's only at that stage we'll get the diluted liquid feed in the form of, for these tomatoes, it's going to be in the form of the comfrey feed, liquid comfrey feed that we create on site, all organic and natural, created on site, the comfrey feed. But obviously you can use the tomato feeds that you get from the stores. We're just trying to keep things organic and keep things cheap, to be honest with you, at this stage. But they're in the ground now, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 2 litre water bottles, or 2 litre popper bottles, these. But the base is cut off, so you're talking about 1.8 litres of liquid. You'll have to convert that if you're from the US of A into the gallons and quarts and pints and that kind of thing. But I think you're probably talking around about 1.5 pints each one of those will hold. Now we're going to be filling these up. Initially we are going to be watering and bedding these tomato plants in to the growing stations inside the feeding halos. We are initially going to water them in, but that's just to set the soil and the growing medium around the root ball underneath the ground initially. Plus they are looking a little bit dry, these are looking a bit sun-kissed and dry, so I'm going to give them what they need, or what I feel that they need. We've done the same on this side with the cucumbers, if you look. So the cucumbers have had the same sort of treatment with the watering stations. There's only 3 in there, so there's only 4 in-ground watering bottles there, but on this side there's 6 altogether because we've got the 2 extra plants. Okay, I hope you like that. If you do, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. I'm going to just give them the initial watering up now, fill everything up. They're going to get 2 full bottles of water, so 2 full fill-ups in each one of those stations, so we can get the underground moisture in the soil. It helps with evaporation as well. It doesn't tend to evaporate inside these hot greenhouses when the moisture is below ground level, if you like. It stays below ground level and you don't lose it to a certain degree. And yeah, it's all going to be watered in now, so I'm going to crack on with that. Okay, now I'm going to be using this watering can to carefully water in around the base. It's about 1 litre one, this. I've just filled both watering cans up from our water butts, the rainwater butts that we collect the water from. The rainwater actually comes off this little greenhouse and goes down the gutters, which I'll show you in a sec, into the water butts outside. And all that's going to be doing is seating the plant. Seating the plant inside the bed. Okay. Do it slowly like that, it'll seep down then. And then what we'll do is we'll use the big watering can. I'm going to get a litre each, these, on the top. I don't like, or the plant doesn't like, splash ups. It doesn't like getting wet on its stem. As a rule, the tomato plants, any sort of hairy plant like that doesn't like to have a wet stem. Also, I've been led to believe. So we're following that advice. These are going to be filled up. This is a 10 litre watering can. So in essence, these 6 should be able to be filled from this, because they're about 1.8 litres in each. The reason we've got the pots in the top is for insects. So insects don't fall into the bottom, such as your bumblebees, your pollinators don't fall into the bottom and get stuck there and potentially drown, because that can happen if you overwater the soil. Well, that keeps them out anyway. It keeps them out of the drowning zone, or the potential I'll get stuck zone. When we didn't do it the first year, we did find quite a few insects who had sort of floundered at the bottom and not been able to get back out again. So me being soft, I did that. I came up with that idea to put the pots in, and then they can easily climb out then, can't they? So all that'll be injected, if you like, into the soil, below soil level, below ground level, and it'll be in and around the base. That's what it's done for. Must be soaking through quick. You can see it's dropping down quite quickly. All the water has disappeared, and that's all gone underground, and it's seeping now below ground level. Because this soil's relatively dry anyway, that's what I want. I want to get some moisture into the ground at the moment, just initially. And then we'll be doing this probably about every 3 days. Then when the fruits are coming on, we'll probably be doing that about every 2 days. And we'll be doing it twice, so 2 fill-ups of those. Essentially, it's probably going to be about 4 litres. Yeah, in each station every 2 days. Alright, so it's going to go deep underground. The roots will then grow, seek out the moisture, and that's hopefully what's going to happen. And we'll get big healthy plants then. Big healthy nutrified plants as they grow up. When we do feed, which is going to be about every 10 days, we're going to feed with the comfrey feed, the liquid comfrey feed. 1 part comfrey to 9 parts water, rainwater, is going to go into there. Yeah, and then that'll be a sustained feed then throughout the growing season, and we should get, because we have done the last 4 years, some cracking tomatoes off these. I hope you like that, boys and girls. I do. I like it a lot. I better get my thumbnail. Okay, so the rain falls from the roof into the gutter. I put some stop ends on myself on this, but none on that side. There's a slight decline leading that way, and it's on both sides, this, if you want to follow me for a second or two. So it comes off there into the gutter, travels down there, and I'll show you where it ends up. Yeah, so I don't have to travel far. Just go around the corner. Down the back of the tiki tunnel, and there's where it drops into there. So I'll just turn you around, guys. So it drops into here. And we fill it up. Job's a good one. I have to weed round here again this weekend. I want to get rid of these clippings too. Gully liver ends! Okay. I've got my Zinnia top on today. Zinnia Environmental. For all your asbestos abatement needs. If you need the asbestos removing, in the northwest of England or anywhere in the UK really, contact us. Zinnia Environmental, very good outfit. I'm the technical manager for them. If you ever wanted to know what I do, safety and technical. There you go. Tomato plants are in. Happy days. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. I'm off to Birmingham NEC tomorrow, the NEC in Birmingham for a trade conference. So I may not be posting tomorrow night because I'll probably be tired. We're going to be setting out quite early in the morning. Take care of yourselves and each other. Remember, we love you all. If you're a gentleman, you're masculine, forthright and virile. And if you're a lady, you're beautiful, fragrant and fantastic. And if you're something in between, you're something in between. I'm getting dazzled by Ra, the sun god at the moment, so I'm going to get off. But yeah, try that. The strings, the feed. Have a look back through the video if you can't remember what we've been putting into the ground, because it's going to be quite a long one, this one, but it's worth doing. We've had good results from this system for the last 3 years. Very good results. So, yeah, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye now, boys and girls, and I may see you on Thursday. Okay, bye-bye now. Ta-da.